friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to start a special reading vlog reading my very first Chevy Stevens book, which is going to be Still Missing by Chevy Stevens. So if you missed it, I did the Try a Chapter tag reading all of Chevy Stevens books, well, the first chapter of all of her published books. There was a bunch of them and I read them and I really think I'm gonna like this author. So I decided to go ahead and start with their debut novel, and I'm really excited to take you along on the journey. This is a special reading vlog because it is a collab with two of my very good friends here on BookTube. They're also my friends in real life, Jacqueline and Jessie. They are the ladies that I do the Rex by the Bottle live show with, and it was you guys that told us to check out Chevy Stevens. So we go on that show to recommend books to you guys, but we also encourage you guys to recommend books to us as well. And there were several books mentioned in our last live show, but an author that kept coming up again and again and again was Chevy Stevens. And I think the book that was actually, or I wrote down at least that I remember, was Those Girls. And I did read the first chapter of that and I am interested in that, but I just wanted to start here. So go ahead and watch my Try a Chapter tag video where I read all of the first chapters of her books, and then you can watch this video and it will probably make a little bit more sense why I chose this book. Also, since I am collabing with these two ladies, all three of us are reading different Chevy Stevens books. We're all posting our videos today for you guys. You can hop over to Jessie's channel and you can watch her read That Night by Chevy Stevens. And then you can hop over to Jacqueline's channel and watch her read Those Girls. I believe all of our videos are going to be spoiler free. We're just going to be taking you along for our experience and hopefully hyping you up to read these if you haven't. But yeah, so I'm really excited. I have already read the first chapter once, at least for the Try a Chapter tag, and I've already reread the first chapter. I read the second chapter as well. And in this book, we follow a realtor, a female realtor that gets kidnapped in the very first chapter. And she's sitting down with a therapist, kind of talking through everything, basically from like beginning to end. And now that she has escaped or whatever, I'm not really sure what happened, if she was like rescued or if she escaped or what. I'm just getting the story from the beginning and it's really exciting. So the chapters are labeled as sessions. So it starts with session 1. Like I said, the first chapter kind of sets up the main character and her life a little bit. She goes to this open house that she's holding and she gets kidnapped, and then in the second chapter she is taken to this cabin and she's in this cabin and seeing that there's very little for her to use to defend herself or a means to escape. She doesn't have access to food or like basically anything in the cabin. Everything is like bolted down and cabinets and doors are locked. And then he comes and you find out the guy, his name's David. I don't know if that's his real name, but that's what he's going by, that he's been stalking her. So I'm just really interested. So make sure you stay tuned, watch my reading vlog, and then you can hop over to Jessie's channel and Jacqueline's channel to watch them read 2 other Chevy Stevens books. I also did want to let you know that all of Chevy Stevens' books were available at my library. So that was really exciting to know that they are available there. Also, I'm listening to Still Missing on Scribd. So if you like audiobooks, that is available on Scribd. And to get 60 days free of Scribd, I have a link down in the description box of all of my videos that if you sign up with my link, you get 60 days for free. So that's more than enough time to read Still Missing and whatever else you might want to read during that time. All right, so there is where I sit. These are the trees that the birds are in and they seem kind of noisy, so you might hear a little bit of bird ASMR in the background. let's go talk about the book. All right. I have a bookmark now and I'm on page 62. So I have been dog-earing a few things to chat with you about. Let me shut this door because Charlie's here. Do you see Charlie? She's right there. Hi, Charlie. A good girl. Come here. There she is. She can see out the window this way. That's what she wants me to pick her up. Good girl. There she is. Vet appointment tomorrow, Charlie. To the book at hand. Still missing. Loving it. It's not like super fast paced, but like it kind of is. And some of the chapters are shorter than others, but the chapters don't feel long, if that makes sense. So like I said, I'm on page 62 and I have dog-eared a few things to chat with you about. I didn't highlight yet and I feel like I should have. Oh yeah, so there's this one part where and I'm trying not to do spoilers. Like after this, I probably won't tell you specific things about the book, but this is all within the first 50 pages, the stuff that I'm going to talk to you about. So I don't really consider that a spoiler, but if you want to avoid all spoilers, like just skip this segment. Okay, so he takes her into the bathtub. And it's like with rose petals floating on the water surface, and he tells her to get undressed. Of course she doesn't want to. He basically forces her to, and then he takes out a straight razor and she starts freaking out, and she notices some things about his hands. Let's see. He lifted up my right leg and rested my heel on the edge of the tub, then slowly ran his hand up and down my calf and thigh. It was the first time I noticed his hands. There wasn't a single hair on them, and his fingertips were smooth, like they've been burned. Terror roared through my body. What kind of person burns off his fingertips? What kind of person? This kind of person. And then like she's freaking out because of the razor. She's like, he could kill me with a straight razor. And he says, if you remain open to the experience, you'll discover a lot about yourself. Knowing someone has life and death power over you can be the most erotic experience of your life. And the last thing that I want to talk to you about is he has set up a schedule for them, like a schedule for himself, specifically a schedule for her. And he basically, like, he's sitting her down, telling her like how it's going to go down, and telling her like she didn't even have a life before him. And she said, I have a life. No, you merely existed, but giving you a second chance, and I suggest you pay attention. There won't be a third chance. Every morning after breakfast, we'll have exercise time and then a shower. We had one before breakfast today, but there will be no deviations from the schedule in the future. He walked over to the wardrobe and unlocked it. I'll be choosing your clothes for the day. And he showed her the clothes and stuff like that. And then after you're dressed, I'll go outside and do my chores. Yours are inside. You'll wash the dishes, make the bed, and do the laundry. And he's telling her how even the dishes they can't be turned into a weapon. He like slams it against the counter to prove that it won't shatter and she won't be able to use it as a weapon or whatever like that. And he says, I'll spray down all the surfaces because the cleaning fluids will be locked up at all times, and you'll never be allowed to handle hot water or any utensils I feel are unsafe. After you're done with your cleaning duties, I expect you to finish your personal grooming. Your fingernails, which are a mess, must be perfect, and I'll file them for you. Your feet should be soft and your toenails painted. Women should have long hair, so I'll rub conditioner in yours to help it grow faster. You won't be wearing any makeup. Our day will start at 7 a.m. Lunch is at 12 sharp, and afternoons will be spent studying any books I require you to learn. I'll inspect your chores at 5. Dinner will be at 7, and after dinner you'll clean up again and then read to me. After reading hour, I'll bathe you. Then it's lights out at 10 o'clock. And I'm just like living that day in and day out as long as she's in that situation. No, I have to have a deviation from my plan. There's certain things that I like to do, but I also like having flexibility and just like, no, this guy is a freak. Just took my hair down and I was like, wow, Such a babe. Am I right or what? Let's heat up those burritos for dinner. Dinner is on the table, but I just got some books from Source Books. I believe I know what this is. Yes, it is. And it's going to be a giveaway over on my Instagram. So if you're not following me at Lavender Mud and you're interested in this, you need to follow me because I'm going to be posting about it. Or I will have posted about it. I don't know. I'm so excited. Yay! So they gave me one and one for you guys. This is Sunny Song Will Never Be Famous. And it's about this girl that goes to like a social media detox camp. And I'm just really, really excited about this. Anyway, this giveaway might be over by the time you're seeing this video. But if you're interested in future giveaways, make sure you're following me on Instagram. It's linked in the description box of all of my videos. Annie is talking to the therapist and telling her, well, I have to go, that she has to do an interview, tonight. And then the person that's interviewing her is going to be like, how did you feel up there? Were you scared? And she's thinking, no shit, Sherlock. They're no better than him, just sadists with a bigger paycheck. And she says, interesting that hardly anyone asks how I feel now. Not that I tell them. I just wonder why nobody cares about the after. Just about the story. It's the next day and I don't know if you heard me or not, but I am about to go on a bike ride around the lake back here. I thought I would give you a quick reading update. I didn't get very much further. I am currently on page 90 or 91. I don't really remember, but I'm gonna go on a bike ride. I also need to go to Michael's today and get a couple of things for an Instagram picture that I'm gonna take for those Sunny Song books. Yeah, because I have like a little bit of a vision in my head, so I'm gonna go with it. But I'm gonna be borrowing some props from Michael's. Still really enjoying the book. I'm getting a little bit of backstory on David and maybe why he turned out the way he did. Annie is slowly trying to manipulate him to tell her more about himself and like his childhood and his upbringing. She's hoping that if she finds out more about him, that she'll be able to figure things out and maybe figure out a way to escape, or like his weaknesses at the very least. And yeah, he had a messed up childhood. Shocker. We're not going to talk about the room right now because it's a mess, but I did make it to page 155, session 14, and I'm still enjoying it. Things are happening. It's blowing my mind. I like how when she sits down to the sessions, she talks to her therapist about things that happened to her when she was kidnapped, but also how she's dealing with it or not dealing with it in the present. I just had lunch. I watched a little bit of Jenny and Georgia. I'm probably going to either clean up this room or lay down for a little bit, and then soon we have to take Charlie to the vet. All right, friends, it's been a very eventful day. I've been pretty busy, but I have had time to read. We took Charlie to the vet. Everything's looking good. She does have a slight ear infection in her left ear, as I knew she would. And they gave us like gel drops for that. So I have to give her that over the next 5 to 7 days. And then in 2 weeks, we have to go back and get that checked. We got her new heartworm medication. What else did we get? Flea and tick stuff. What else? Yeah, everything else looks good. I'm gonna sit back here and read for a while, and I thought I would just update you on a couple of things. So it does have a part in it. I'm very sensitive to animal scenes, like graphic animal scenes. And there's not a graphic animal scene, but it does have like hunting and dressing an animal. And for me, that's different. Like I can read about that and like solidify it in my head as like, that's how people used to live and they still do. Like, you know, and it's like for food rather than just like someone torturing an animal. So mine is really animal torture, like that sort of thing. But like for food and stuff like that, I'm okay with it, but some people are not. So I wanted to let you know that the characters in here do live, like, it seems like in the wilderness. We don't really know, but they're living off the land. So at one point he does call Annie out to help him. He just killed a deer and she's like helping him dress it. There's been a couple things like I wasn't expecting to happen in the story, and I want to avoid spoilers at all costs, but one of the things I think could be very sensitive, readers could be very sensitive to, is there is the death of a 4-month-old baby. And yeah, it's very sad. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that's very triggering, very, you know, like a lot of content warnings will go with this book, of course. I have a content warning website linked down below of all my videos. And then I'm going to try to put some additional trigger warnings that I might think of, but just keep in mind the things that I'm saying throughout this vlog. Also, something happened. I'm always kind of wondering, like, we know she's on the outside now because obviously she's talking to a therapist. But at what point does she either escape, get rescued? Like, how did that time where she was captured end? And I haven't known what to expect. And she is telling this story to a therapist, and she's kind of saying things like in and out of order because she's talking about her current life, her life back at the cabin, we'll say. Very interesting. Something crazy happened right here that I was not expecting to happen until much nearer to the end. So now I'm wondering, what's all that gonna be? So very, very interesting, but I'm gonna sit back here and read for a little while, hoping to knock out a big chunk tonight and finish it possibly, but if not tonight, definitely tomorrow. I did indeed finish Still Missing by Chevy Stevens last night. I really, really enjoyed this story. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars, and I probably would have rated it higher if that portion around this mark would have been moved a little bit further back. So again, it's about this realtor being kidnapped and taken by this man, and she lives in this like really secure cabin that she cannot escape from, and she's now either escaped or was rescued. You don't really know how, but she's out of that situation now, and she's talking to her therapist, and the chapters are sessions with her therapist. Okay, so this is on page 2. And while we're getting shit straight here, let's lay down some ground rules before we start this joyride. If we're going to do this, it's going to be done my way. That means no questions from you, not even one little sneaky, how did you feel when? I'll tell the story from the beginning, and when I'm interested in hearing what you have to say, I'll let you know. Oh, and in case you're wondering, no, I wasn't always such a bitch. So she tells her right from the beginning, like, this is just me telling you my story. And so that's basically what it is. It's her telling her story to her therapist from the very first day until currently, because it does do a really good job of focusing on like what happened and how she's dealing with the aftermath of that, like her PTSD and such. It does have some trigger warnings. I would say, like, obviously kidnapping and rape and death of animals. There is a deer that is killed for food, and then there is a duck that is also killed, which Annie had kind of like started forming a bond with that duck, and then he killed it and they ended up eating it. So it was kind of like for food as well, but he kind of did it out of revenge because she was getting attached to the duck. So there's those two things, and then there's death of a baby and PTSD and, you know, anything that comes in that scope. Definitely look up other reviewers and see what they say for content warning and trigger warnings. I thought it was all done rather respectfully though, and it was very interesting. I will say that the first half of the book was stronger in my opinion than the second half of the book. It's almost like the book could have been just those 186 pages, and then the second half of the book, it was almost like, I don't know necessarily if what happened was planned or if they were just kind of, you know, out of that storyline and kind of moved on into another one. But I do value that the author did something unexpected, or maybe it was, you know, I don't know, I wasn't expecting it. So yeah, I appreciated that. But yeah, really highly recommend you pick up this book if you haven't. Like I said, it is very twisted. It is very interesting. There are definitely some edge of your seat moments. And the ending, I don't know. I really just liked the first half of the book better. Yeah. So that's all I'm really gonna say. Hopefully I convinced you to at least pick it up and give it a try. I will definitely be picking up more books by this author in the future. I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys for recommending this author to us, and a huge thank you to Jessie for putting together this collab. Like I said at the beginning, Jessie and Jacqueline are also reading books by Chevy Stevens, so you can hop over to their channels and check out their vlogs for their book. But I will leave links in the description box for you, and yeah, all of Chevy Stevens' books are going on my wish list now. So there's that. Anyway, I hope you're having a lovely day or night, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!